week's Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kori Guest, senior basketball player who has been on an absolute tear recently, averaging 28 points the last 2 and 21 points over the last 5 games. Kori, what's gone into this recent stretch for you?
Just playing with confidence and just going out there and controlling what I can control, and that's just playing hard and giving it all. Playing hard for my teammates and coaches.
Specifically in the Wayland Baptist game, you made 7 threes on your way to 31 points, and that was the team's first win in Plainview since 2011. So what specifically went into that game for you and for the team?
Coach told us that before we came out there. He's like, we haven't won here since 2012. So that kind of was like more motivation going into that game, and then both teams being like neck and neck for 4th or 3rd place, whichever one. We knew we had to come in and treat that game more as like a championship game, especially with Wayland being ranked and being the team that they are. We wanted to come out there and make sure we handled the business right and walk away with a dub.
What kinds of things do you do to hone your shooting ability?
I try to talk to myself, like I got to bend my knees a little more on that shot. I got to, I got to follow through every time. It's really just focusing on the little things, just making sure my knees are bent and following through on my shot. That's really all I think about when I shoot. The rest is like second nature, honestly.
This is your 5th year playing college basketball and 3rd here at OCU. So what was the decision for you to come back for a 3rd year to OCU after you got the free year from 2020? And how have you enjoyed your 5th year playing?
Oh, yes. I've absolutely enjoyed every bit of it. Being given the coaches that we have is special, and you don't run across coaches like this, especially Coach B. And him being a winning coach, it's easy to trust him because he trusts us, and I just want to go out there and play for him. And being a part of OCU, the tradition here is winning, and I want to bring back a championship to this NAIA school.
You won 2 state championships at Tulsa Memorial High School. What do you remember about those 2 teams and your experience playing for state championships?
Ah, man, I think about that every day, honestly. That feeling don't go away, from storming the court to holding up the gold ball and selecting ring designs. That's a feeling that every athlete wants to have, and if they do come across it, they want to keep trying to reach that goal. And that's what I want to do here. I want to bring back another championship and get that winning feeling again.
As far as your team goes in high school, that's got to be the longest organically created high school team ever. You, the Boone twins,
Yeah.
You had Julian Cockrell on that team.
Yeah.
What was it like playing with that much length at the high school level?
Oh, man, practicing with those guys, you can kind of get used to it quick. Everyone they come in, it's like, oh, you got a 6'9" and a 6'8" big man. And I mean, like, it's kind of crazy to think about, but it's always been fun playing against guys like that, especially since they're still playing. And me being in my 5th year, I'm honestly blessed to still be out here playing and putting on for Tulsa Memorial.
Obviously, we've heard about the issues with the basketball court here, the flooding that happened, and going to be without a home court for probably the rest of the year. So how have you guys adjusted? What's been the schedule? What have you guys had to do to adjust to not having your home court?
We've had to, obviously practice at high school gyms, so where they don't even have a 3-point line or, the charter circle or a shot clock. So, I mean, like, again, we're just controlling what we can control and being grateful for what we do have. And that's the ability to still go out there and compete in the Student Athletic Conference.
What brought you to OCU?
Honestly, AJ, when he went here, I remember talking to him before I committed, and he's like, if you want to be a part of a real family and a real tradition, it's where you feel like a family. OCU is that school for you because, going to Memorial, it's a real tradition there. And even the alumni, they still come back and watch games. And now that I'm an alumni, I want to go back and, get that great feeling of being part of OCU and Tulsa Memorial.
What are you studying here?
Criminal justice.
And what kind of career plans do you have for yourself?
I did want to be like a crime scene investigator, but I think I'll move to more of the police officer side because obviously we need some good ones out there. And I think I have what it takes to serve the community and lead.
All right, that's Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kori Guest. You can follow the stars on OCUsports.com. Here with women's basketball coach Kris Seigenthaler. The Stars coming off a come-from-behind win over Mid-America Christian this past weekend. And, Coach, let's start there. Big-time win for your program. Come-from-behind win on a, what would you call it, a neutral floor that you had to go play at in El Reno. So walk us through that game and how big was that for your season?
I mean, that's huge. You know, we're 3-1 currently in 2023, and we've really been focusing on being in the here and now, kind of being where our feet are and just inch by inch strengthening from that. You know, with that being said, you know, we knew we were going against a national competitor, but we didn't put a lot of focus into that. We really just put a lot of focus into just really competing and executing. And I just thought our squad, we came out in the second half, and I forget, I don't have the box score in front of me, but it was almost like 51-36 in the second half, you know, OCU to MACU. We really came out, we executed. I thought they rattled us a little bit in the first half, but we kind of got our poise at halftime, and that's what we talked about. We talked about having that poise. Thought we were intense defensively. We contained their penetration, and we just got after it. And it's such a huge, you know, neutral win, I guess you could say, for our players. I'm so excited for them. You know, they've been working their tails off, and they deserve this. They've earned it. They scrapped it. They scrapped for it. And I'll be honest with you. You know, it's a huge one for our program as well.
You guys have leaned on your defense so far this year, holding opponents under 40% shooting and 6 opponents under 35. Tell us about your defensive effort and how that's come together for you.
Yeah, you know, we've really been focused on containing penetration. That's been a huge one for us, is really containing penetration. So we've been working really hard on that and on the defensive end a lot in 2023. And yeah, I think, you know, really contesting jumpers, really just, you know, trying to make those tough finishes for our competitor. And I mean, and then just grab and secure the board and, you know, take off on the scoring end and take it right to them. And so I think, you know, that focus on the defensive end is really translating well for us. I mean, we know that statistically, if you look, we're not scoring a lot. So we have to hold defenders our competitors into the 60s. And so I feel like our squad is really kind of taken to that, and we're really focused on it.
No surprise that your two seniors are your offensive leaders, Fiona Wilson and Analia Dawn. Tell us about those two and others who have stood out for you guys this season.
I mean, Fee and AD have been incredible for us. They bring that Sooner Athletic Conference, really just the experience of it. And, you know, not just that, but they are leading scorers coming back from last season. And, I mean, they've just been great, you know. If one of them is struggling, the other one is kind of taking over, and their leadership has been incredible. I can't say enough about AD. AD has been an engine for us and is really just, I mean, amped it up in 2023. And then Fee has just been steady for us and been solid when we needed it. And so, you know, I can't brag enough on those two. I'm going to hate to lose them. You know, that's going to be some production that, you know, I have to bring in 2023 to really come in and take over. But, you know, really each individual is kind of really had a job on this team, and they've really executed it, whether it's Gordon, you know, grabbing those offensive boards. I mean, we all know, I mean, that vertical, you know, and attacking, or Ray coming in late in MACU and scoring for us, you know. I mean, whether it's Casey finishing on rim runs, Kelsey hits a huge three, you know, Reagan coming in, giving us depth on the inside, you know, and so just players, you know, coming off that bench for us, and just being solid, you know, and so, you know, each player has, you know, really, I think, taken to their role, and whether it's scoring or whether it's coming in, and Howard will come in off the bench and defensively lock it down for us, you know, I mean, each player, I can't brag enough, and that's what, you know, it takes a village. And that's kind of what, you know, we're talking with our squad about, is just kind of being the here and now. We know we have a tough stretch coming up, but you know what? We're focused on having 2 solid days. And like I said, I mean, we're not focused on what does it look like in the fall and now. We're focused on, guess what? We're 3-1 in the Sooner Athletic Conference, you know, and where can this take us in the end? You know, right now we're just competing and getting after it.
Tell us about how your team has had to adjust and how they've reacted to the adjustment of not having your home floor available.
They're handling it, you know. I mean, we're just kind of road warriors right now. I mean, it didn't feel like a home game last Saturday, you know. but it is how it is, and we're just handling it. You know, it's toughening us up, and I honestly think it's going to strengthen us. You know, I've just tried to kind of talk with them about the experience of it. I know what it's like not to have a locker room. I experienced this in New Orleans, so I know the psychology behind it, but we're just trying to keep them locked in and focused, and, you know, it does kind of, you know, make things a little bit tougher. We had 6 a.m. practice this morning, you know, at OAC, about 10 minutes from here. So you're getting up a little bit earlier. You're not dragging into the locker room and onto the hardwood. But, you know, I thought we honestly have had 2 incredible days of practice in preparation for Texas Wesleyan. And I think today might have been the strongest than yesterday. And these 2 practices really rank up there for us right now. And it goes back to, I think we're just playing really solid right now.
What kinds of things do you look for in a prospective student athlete?
Competitive. I'm looking for a competitor that's just tough. You know, I think having that toughness, just not being denied, and that's what happened with MacU. We refused to be denied, you know, and they just have to have the intangibles. You know, we want scrappy. We want, you know, those guys that are coming here and skill train, you know, and not just inside of training, but those that are serious about leaving their legacy on and off the hardwood. You know, for us, we also had a 3.55 team GPA, which led OCU Athletics. That's a huge accomplishment. So extremely proud, because at the end of the day, they're not just athletes for us. You know, they are getting their college degrees. We are instilling that leadership for these guys for whatever career field that they're interested in. And one day, they're going to be in our shoes, and they're going to be leaders of the next generation. And so we've got to make sure that we're doing our job, not only on the hardwood, but off the hardwood. I think we are competitive, no doubt. We've fought. We're scrappy. I've heard that from each coach inside the Sooner Athletic Conference. You know, you're getting a lot out of the squad, you know, and it's those guys. You know, those guys are really getting after it and scrapping. Like, I can't take that. That each day they're coming in, you know, with no hardwood, and you know what, we're not going to be denied. It's just a mentality. And then off the hardwood, you know, they take it serious and wanting to get their college degrees and be leaders, you know, because, you know, we have everything from psychology to business to the med field. We have a lot of different fields that they're interested in going into, and we're gonna back their decision on what they want to pursue and be there for them when they graduate.
All right, that's OCU women's basketball coach Kris Seigenthaler. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com. Here on the OCU Athletics Update, talking with Josh Gorzney, who will make his debut as the women's golf coach coming up in February. Coach, you've got that February tournament, the Las Vegas Invitational, coming up first, 20th and 21st. So what's the outlook for that and for the remainder of the season for your girls?
Yeah, today's our first team practice over at Lincoln Park Golf Course. Excited to get going. It's my first month and a half on the job, so it's been a lot learning in that first month and a half, learning the girls, the university, everything we need to do. But excited to get together as a group and really, you know, get to work, because that's what it's going to take from now until February 18th when we fly as a team. So, I mean, just kind of nervous, anxious, excited to get going, and I mean, great group of girls that have, you know, welcomed me here to OCU.
Maddie Camus was recently selected to play in the Patriot All-America Invitational. Tell us what kind of honor that is for her and what it will do for her stature as a player.
Yeah, Maddie got selected. Only one NAIA player is usually selected for the Patriot, and that's a great honor just to represent OCU herself on that national stage, because usually it's Power 5 conference, big schools like Stanford, Oregon, Oklahoma, and it's really cool to see Maddie be selected. Unfortunately, she rolled her ankle about a week before. I know she was really bummed. She was in a boot, so was unable to play, but I know she's on the road to recovery, and just a great player. She's had 4 collegiate wins in her, you know, first year and a half, 3 semesters of college golf, and we're lucky to have her and the rest of the members on our team.
You've got 6 individuals ranked in the top 20 of the GolfStat statistical standings. What does that say about the depth of this team? How excited are you for that?
Yeah, we've got 10 girls on our upcoming team, and I mean, I'd say my first impression is all 10 can be in the lineup at a given time. So that really just goes towards our depth of our lineup, and that we want to keep it competitive at practice, qualifiers, tournaments. Nobody's really safe to, to just feel safe to be in the next tournament is kind of the culture I want to provide, competitive, because that's how you grow. That's how you learn from your teammates. You got to put forth that effort because you know the person behind you is trying to beat you. So friendly, we're all trying to celebrate each other, but I feel like that's what separates us from maybe some other NAIA schools is our depth and our competitive nature at practice.
What brought you to OCU?
That's a good question. I've been a few different places. I've, originally from Chicago. I went to an NAIA school, played golf at St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois, and really cool experience. Played in 2 national championships there. One at TPC Deer Run, which we get to go to hopefully this year. So that'll be cool to bring back some of those memories. But from there, I got into college coaching in Phoenix. I was a part of a South Mountain Community College under Andy Walker. Then from there, went back home for a little bit, got coached under Justin Wyeth at Aurora University, then finally moved back to Oklahoma, coached high school golf at Edmond North, Norman North. And then from there, I always wanted to get back into college coaching. And there was an opportunity from a previous OCU coach, MJ Dabian Shaw. She coached back in, I think, 13 years ago. So coached under her for a year and a half, and then this opportunity came about. My parents and my in-laws are from Oklahoma, so it just kind of made sense to throw my resume in the pile, and now I'm here. I'm super excited and ready to plant some roots.
Tell us about the connection you've developed with former OCU men's coach Kyle Blazer.
Yeah, Kyle Blazer's he's been great to me. I coached his son at Edmond North. That's the first time, I really got to meet him. 11-time national champion, all-time winningest golf coach in any association's history. So that's really cool to be associated with that. So I, met him, picked his brain, asked questions, called him for advice here and there, just because, somebody who wins like that, you want to be around, take advantage of people like that as far as asking questions and getting their perspective on things. So he's been great, and interviewing for this job and me asking him his experience here, it only solidified my decision to come here.
All right, that's OCU women's golf coach Josh Gorzney. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com.